Welcome to Final Moments, where we take a moment to remember and celebrate the legacies of those we've lost. Today, we pay tribute to incredible individuals whose stories have left a lasting impact, from the world of sport and music to diplomacy and leadership. Their journeys were filled with triumph, perseverance, and inspiration, and although they may no longer be with us, their legacies live on. If you find meaning in these stories, consider liking this video and subscribing to stay updated as we continue to honor those who shaped our world. Let's remember them together. And now, let's begin. Number 1. Kevin Braswell. Today, we remember the life and legacy of Kevin Braswell, a remarkable athlete, a dedicated coach, and above all, a person who inspired so many on and off the court. Born in Baltimore, Maryland, Kevin's journey began at Lake Clifton High School. He then honed his craft at Maine Central Institute before making his mark at Georgetown University. With his relentless drive, he quickly became a standout player, setting records and earning accolades. Kevin finished his college career ranking 7th in scoring, 1st in assists, and 1st in steals at Georgetown, a testament to his leadership and skill. But his journey was just beginning. Though undrafted in the NBA, Kevin refused to let that define him. He took his talents overseas, playing professionally for 14 years across the globe. It was in New Zealand where he truly left an unforgettable mark, winning championships and becoming a beloved figure in the NBL. After an incredible playing career, Kevin transitioned to coaching, leading teams in New Zealand and Japan with the same passion he displayed as a player. He guided the Wellington Saints to back-to-back championships, earning Coach of the Year honors. He later took the helm at Utsunomiya Branks in Japan, dedicating himself to growing the game internationally. On February 24, 2025, Kevin Braswell left us too soon at the age of 46. He had undergone heart surgery a month prior and fought bravely until the end. His passing is deeply felt in Baltimore, at Georgetown, and across the global basketball community. Number 2. Roberta Flack. Roberta Flack, a name synonymous with soul, elegance, and timeless music. Her voice, like a gentle embrace, carried emotions so deep they touched hearts across generations. Today, we celebrate her life, her legacy, and the gift she left us. Music that spoke of love, longing, and the beauty of the human experience. Born Roberta Cleopatra Flack on February 10, 1937 in Black Mountain, North Carolina, she was raised in a home filled with gospel and classical music. From an early age, she showed extraordinary talent playing piano and finding her voice in music. By just 15, she had earned a full scholarship to Howard University, a rare achievement that spoke to her genius. Her journey to stardom wasn't rushed. It was nurtured through years of passion and precision. She played small clubs in Washington, D.C., where jazz great Les McCann discovered her, leading to a contract with Atlantic Records. But her true breakthrough came unexpectedly when Clint Eastwood chose her song The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face for his film Play Misty for Me. That moment transformed her into a household name. Then came Killing Me Softly with a song that didn't just win awards, but won hearts worldwide. It was as if she had reached into our souls and translated our deepest emotions into melody. Her voice wasn't just heard, it was felt. She was an innovator of quiet storm, a genre that blended R&B with smooth, intimate vocals. Her collaborations with Donny Hathaway gave us unforgettable duets like Where Is the Love and The Closer I Get to You. But beyond the music, she was a woman of depth, activism, and purpose. She stood with civil rights leaders, used her voice for change, and lived with a philosophy of love and unity. Her accolades were many: a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, multiple platinum records, and a lasting influence on artists like Lauryn Hill and Alicia Keys. But her greatest achievement? The way she made us feel. In 2022, Roberta was diagnosed with ALS, a disease that took away her ability to sing, but never her spirit. In her final years, she remained a beacon of grace, surrounded by the music and love she had given the world. On February 24th, 2025, at the age of 88, she passed away peacefully, leaving behind a legacy that will live on forever. Number 3. Rose Girone. There are some lives that shine so brightly they leave a lasting imprint on history. Rose Girone's life was one of resilience, courage, and unwavering strength. At 113 years old, she was believed to be the world's oldest Holocaust survivor. But more than just a number, Rose was a mother, a teacher, an entrepreneur, and an inspiration to so many. Born in 1912 in Janów, Poland, which is now Ukraine, Rose's early years were filled with family and tradition. Her family later moved to Hamburg, Germany, where they ran a theatrical costume shop. But as the dark clouds of war gathered over Europe, her world was turned upside down. In 1938, at just 26 years old, Rose married Julius Mannheim in an arranged marriage. It was meant to be the start of a new chapter, but instead, it became a fight for survival. Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass, swept through Germany, bringing destruction and terror to the Jewish community. Julius was arrested and sent to the Buchenwald concentration camp. 8 months pregnant, Rose knew she had to act fast. Fate intervened in the form of a cousin who sent Rose a piece of paper, a visa written in Chinese. Shanghai was one of the last open ports for Jewish refugees. She used it to negotiate Julius's release, and together they fled Nazi Germany just in time. Shanghai, though a refuge, wasn't an easy place to survive. The conditions were harsh, and the Jewish refugees faced hunger and poverty. But Rose had a skill that would change her family's fate. From a young age, Rose had loved knitting. In Shanghai, she put that talent to use, knitting clothes for her baby girl Reha. Her craft also provided the income her family desperately needed. In 1947, after years in Shanghai, the family was granted visas to the United States. Each person was only allowed to take $10 out of China, but Rose had another plan. She sewed extra cash into buttons on her hand-knit sweaters, ensuring they had a fresh start in America. They arrived in San Francisco and later made their way to New York, where Rose was reunited with her family. But her journey was far from over. In 1968, she remarried, finding love again with Jacques Girone. Even after selling her business in 1980, Rose never stopped knitting. It was a part of her soul. In her later years, Rose became a voice of history, sharing her experiences with the USC Shoah Foundation and Holocaust Memorial organizations. She wanted the world to remember not just the horrors, but the strength of those who endured. As she celebrated her 113th birthday in January 2025, she shared her secret to a long life: live every day with a purpose, have amazing children, and eat lots of dark chocolate. On February 24th, 2025, Rose passed away peacefully at 113 years old. But her legacy lives on in every stitch of a handmade sweater, in the stories she shared, and in the hearts of those who knew her. Number 4. Al Trautwig. A voice that brought sports to life, a storyteller who made every game feel like history in the making, a presence that became part of our lives. Today, we remember and honor Al Trautwig. For decades, Al Trautwig was more than a broadcaster. He was the voice of some of our most cherished sports moments. Whether he was covering the Olympics, the New York Knicks, the Rangers, or the Yankees, his words carried weight, emotion, and a deep love for the game. Born in 1956, Al's journey in sports began humbly, working as a stick boy for the Islanders and a ball boy for the Nets. But he was always destined for more. His passion and knowledge led him to a remarkable career spanning over 4 decades, working with MSG Network, NBC, ABC, USA Network, and more. He had a unique ability to turn sports into stories. His insight, excitement, and his ability to connect with audiences made him one of the greatest ever to do it. When you heard Al Trautwig's voice, you knew you were in for something special. In 2019, Al stepped away from broadcasting, and though he left our screens, he never left our hearts. He battled courageously, always showing the same resilience and passion he brought to his work. Al Trautwig passed away on February 23, 2025, just 3 days before his 69th birthday. The sports world has lost a giant, but his legacy will live on in every thrilling game, in every unforgettable moment, and in the countless people he inspired. Number 5. Royce Pollard. Royce Pollard wasn't just a mayor, he was a force of nature, a leader, a veteran, a visionary. Today, we remember the man who helped shape America's Vancouver into the city it is today. Born in Burlington, Vermont in 1939, Royce Pollard dedicated his life to service. He began his journey in the U.S. Army in 1961, bravely serving during the Vietnam War and later commanding Vancouver barracks until his retirement in 1988. But for Pollard, retirement was just the beginning. A year after retiring from the military, Pollard took on a new mission, public service. He joined the Vancouver City Council in 1989, and in 1996, he became the city's mayor, a role he would hold for 14 years. Under Pollard's leadership, Vancouver saw incredible growth. His vision transformed downtown from a struggling area to a thriving hub, bringing new life to places like Esther Short Park and developing the Hilton Hotel. Vancouver wasn't just growing, it was redefining itself. Pollard championed transportation projects from expanding Max Light Rail to promoting biking and walking as key elements of Vancouver's future. His dedication to infrastructure wasn't always met with agreement, but his commitment never wavered. After 2 decades of service, Pollard stepped down in 2010, but his influence remained. He was named Clark County's first citizen and continued advocating for the city he loved. His passing on February 24, 2025, at the age of 85, leaves a void in Vancouver's heart, but his legacy will never be forgotten. Number 6. Frank G. Wisner. Frank G. Wisner, a name that to those in the world of diplomacy carries the weight of history, strategy, and an unyielding dedication to international service. Over a career that spanned decades, Wisner wasn't just a diplomat, he was a force behind the scenes, shaping American foreign policy in some of the most pivotal moments of the 20th and 21st centuries. Born into a family deeply tied to intelligence and diplomacy, Wisner was no stranger to the weight of global affairs. His father, Frank Gardner Wisner, played a key role in the CIA's early covert operations, but Wisner II carved his own legacy, one of diplomacy, negotiation, and sometimes controversy. As the U.S. ambassador to Egypt from 1986 to 1991, Wisner navigated one of the most politically sensitive landscapes in American foreign relations. He built relationships, brokered discussions, and engaged in back-channel negotiations that few were ever privy to. When Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait in 1990, sparking the Gulf War, Wisner's deep understanding of the region proved invaluable. Amid rising tensions, he remained in Cairo, confident in the diplomacy that held fragile alliances together. In the Philippines, he took on another challenge, stabilizing Corazon Aquino's coup-prone government. He worked tirelessly, balancing the weight of American influence with respect for Philippine sovereignty. He understood history, and he knew that diplomacy wasn't about dictating terms, it was about guiding, advising, and, when necessary, stepping aside. His influence wasn't limited to the Middle East and Asia. Wisner played a crucial role in America's approach to the anti-apartheid struggle in South Africa, navigating the complex geopolitics of the time. A master of constructive engagement, he was often seen as the quiet architect behind key policy shifts in Africa. Frank G. Wisner passed away at the age of 86, leaving behind not just a family, but a legacy, one marked by commitment, complexity, and an unshakable belief in the power of diplomacy.